Folks, power of sales, they're way up. I'm going to talk about that and get into the latest home prices and insights for the city of Toronto for week ending November 1st, 2023. I've been tracking power of sales. And when I get into the next part of the show, I'll show you a new chart that I've put together. And it'll show you that power of sales have more than doubled this year versus last year, which leads me to the call I want to talk about. I received a call from a gentleman last week, and he's given me permission to share his set of circumstances with you here. He has two mortgages on his property, a first mortgage and a second mortgage. And the second mortgage has already informed him that they are not going to renew. Now, renewal is around the corner, just a few weeks away. And this homeowner called me saying, hey, what can I do? I need to sell my house. And I said, whoa, slow down. Before we talk about selling your house, why don't you just get another second mortgage? If they're not going to renew, find someone else who will. Maybe that's an option, I said. He says, I've tried, I can't. I said, okay, well, let's look at selling. And in looking at selling, it didn't take long to realize that what his home would sell for, the estimated current market value, will not cover the two mortgages he has on his home. On top of that, to make it worse, he's asking a quick sale. He says, Santo, I need to sell it right away before my renewal. And the renewal is just a few weeks away. So we need to sell it quick. And to do that, you've got to price it for a quick sale. You've got to price it so nobody else buys the other homes for sale in the neighborhood. They buy yours first. Well, the price it at that is going to just exaggerate his problem of the value of his home being less than what he needs to pay for the mortgages. So unless he's got a pile of money sitting somewhere, which he doesn't, he's in trouble. There's a good chance his home is going to go into power of sale. Because even if we sold it, he doesn't have the funds to close. He can't pay off his loans on the home. There are more and more and more of these situations that are happening and coming. It's not going to get less or better. This situation is going to get worse. There are many people out there with the way home values have dropped that find themselves in a position where their value is less than their mortgage. And if their lender, whoever's given them money, whoever's lent them the mortgage money, chooses not to renew, they're in big trouble. My advice, and I've said this many times on this show, my advice is to be proactive, way in advance. If you're a homeowner and you see this potentially coming, this scenario in your family, don't wait for the last few weeks or the last month or 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year in advance. Make choices to put yourself in a situation that does not bring undue financial hardship to your family. You're probably already in some sort of financial hardship to be in this situation. But if you wait to the last minute, it's way, way worse. Early on in the process, long in advance, you've got choices. If you wait to the last minute, choices will be made for you, and they won't be in your best interest, and it will ruin you. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. I know this wasn't a happy story, but it's a sign of the times right now, and we're going to see more of these situations. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you feel you want to talk to me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about, excuse me, we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Many families are pooling their resources together, buying a property where more than one family could live in. If that's what you're looking for, check out this awesome, luxurious multifamily home. The video's at the end of this video. So I told you I've put together a new chart. I've been tracking power of sales. The blue, that's last year, 2022. The orange, that's this year power of sales. Year to date, up to the end of October, the full month of October, power of sales are up more than double, 118% this year versus last year. And that number is expected to increase as time goes on. That's power of sales. I'm looking at a different chart now. We're looking at multiple years. This is for the city of Toronto only for detached properties. And the last full month completed was October. And I'm tracking October sales, average prices and sales figure going back to October 2019. And if we look at sales for October this year, 586 detached properties were sold. October last year, 595 were sold. Pretty much the same, not a big difference. But if we go back to the previous Octobers, well, the sales that we've done in October these last 2 years is almost half of what we used to do. For October 2020 was 1,219. October 21, 1,057. We're hovering under 600 right now for October 2023. Let's look at average sold price. Average sold price for October, again, this is just for detached properties in the city of Toronto. Average sold price for the month of October is 1,718, down slightly from the September average sold price. If we go back several years, and I know lots of people thinking prices are coming way down and can't wait till we get back to 2019 prices, 2020 prices. Some people thinking 2017, 2016, 2015 prices. Who knows? But let me just show you what it would take to get back to 2019 prices. The current price of $1,718,000 would need to drop by 23% to get to 1,323, which is where the average price was October 2019. So we need to come down 23% from where the price is right now. Months of inventory for the month of October, 3.2. Generally speaking, since May, months of inventory has been increasing. Now, I normally do the charts on a weekly basis, and I'm about to get into that right now. But a lot of people want to see from time to time on a monthly basis, and they want to see multiple years going back. That's why I did those charts. But here we go. Broken down by week, I've got 3 months on the board here. Condos, semis and towns, detached properties, only for the city of Toronto. Big difference in detached and condo prices. It's around $800,000. It's difficult for somebody in a condo to jump into the detached market unless they change neighborhoods. I don't mean other parts of Toronto. If they've got to move way out to sell their condo and get into the detached market. They've got to get way out of town. If you're staying in town in Toronto, it's difficult. Probably a town or semi is going to be more of what you decide to do. Here's City of Toronto detached properties broken down by week for a whole year. For week ending November 1st, 135 detached properties were sold. 24 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price came way down to $1,544,000. We peaked right past Labor Day at $1,785,000. And although the previous week prices jumped up, average sold prices, they fluctuate on a weekly basis, but overall been trending down. Again, for week ending November 1st, $1,544,000 is the average sold price. Compared to last year, that's 9% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price is, these are all rounded percentages. I didn't round the median because it would have said 0. It's actually 0.4% lower than where the median price was a year ago. But if we look at the last 4 or 5 weeks, prices were trending down. If we go back a bit further, it looks like prices were trending up. And they did. Just past Labor Day, prices went up a bit. There was increased activity, increased attitudes. It was better. People were buying. Prices jumped up. Now things are calming down. Prices are trending down again. Sales, 135 were sold. 37% were sold at list price or more. Year-to-date sales, we have 10% fewer sales this year versus last year, year-to-date. Listings, 9% fewer listings this year versus last year. Listings, they peaked at 528 in 1 week. That's just past Labor Day or post-Labor Day, let me say, but listings have been declining ever since. So for week ending November 1st, 319 detached properties were listed. Months of inventory for November 1st, for week ending November 1st, is sitting at 3.1. It has come down from where it's been over the last few weeks, but overall we're pretty much sitting in a balanced market when it comes to detached properties in the city of Toronto. That's all of TO. Let's break Toronto down into 9 different sections, and we said months of inventory sitting at 3.1. There's pockets, there's areas of Toronto where it's a lot more aggressive and months of inventory is a lot lower. Scarborough sitting at 2 months of inventory. East York, Riverdale, Beaches area sitting at 1.8. High Park, Parkdale area sitting at 1.2 months of inventory. Very competitive. Here's semis. 34 semi-detached properties were sold. 10 of those sold at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price jumped up from the previous week to $1,303,000. 1,303 is 11% higher than where the price was a year ago. The median price is 6% higher than where the median price was a year ago. Months of inventory sitting at 3.0. Overall, it's been trending up. But when you have sales that are not so high, I mean, you're talking about 20, 30 sales in a week, weekly numbers, everything bounces up and down. And here's where you have months of inventory over the last few weeks trending up. Townhouses, only 16 freehold townhouses were sold. One of those was at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price from the previous week came down to $1,223,000. 1,223 is 9% lower than where the average sold price was same time last year. The median price is 16% lower than where we were this time last year. Months of inventory sitting at 2.6 for townhouses. Condos. Let's take a similar look at condos the way we did with detached. I'm going back to 2019. These numbers are on a monthly basis. So for October, 883 condos were sold. Similar pattern to the detached where 883, last year October was 881, pretty much the same. But if we go back, we're way, way, way lower than where sales were previously in the previous years. For 2021, 1,900 condos were sold. We sold 893 this year. 1,400, almost 1,600 October 2019. So sales are way down for condos over the previous years. Let's look at average sold price. Average sold price sitting at $729,000. What does it take to get to October 2019 price of $663,000? Well, the current price of $729,000 needs to come down by 9% If we come down 9% from where we are now, we'll be back to October 2019 average sold prices for condos. Months of inventory, way up there, sitting at 5.5 months of inventory. These are broken down again by monthly basis. These are condo apartments just for the city of Toronto. Here's my regular programming, broken down by week. Condos for the city of Toronto for week ending November 1st, 166 condos were sold. 19 of those were at $1 million or more. We've seen sales since the end of May, almost on a weekly basis, but we've seen it trending down. It came down and it's kind of sort of flattened out, but still trending down slightly. Average sold price for week ending November 1st is $731,000. 731 is 1% higher than where we were a year ago. The median price is 1% lower than where we were a year ago at this time. Sales, the amount of condos selling at list price or more, the percentage is trending down. Year-to-date sales, this year up to November 1st versus last year up to November 1st, we have 12% fewer condo sales this year versus last year. And last year, those sales were way down from the previous year, but just going back for the 2 years, we're 12% lower. Listings, 3% more listings this year than what we listed year to date last year in condos. Months of inventory sitting at 6.2 for week ending November 1st. And that's just going one way right now. You see it going up quite aggressively. Here's the summary. We're pretty much more in a balanced market in most areas. We're going to find in some areas we're sitting in a buyer's market. That's this week's report for week ending November 1st. Now check out this awesome multifamily home.
Welcome to 4027 Bloor Street West in Etobicoke. Before I show you the inside of this home, let me tell you what makes it so unique. It has in all 8 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms. It has 9-foot and 10-foot ceilings. Each room has its own individual climate control. These are all luxury features you would expect from a custom-built home. But what really stands out in this home is that it was designed from the very beginning for 2 families to live separate and independent of each other, both above grade. Let me start by showing you the principal residence. So this is the principal residence. Including the finished basement, you have 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, about 3,000 square feet. So here's the finished basement. It has 10-foot ceilings, an entertainment area, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a private walk-up to the backyard. So this is the private, self-contained, luxurious secondary suite with 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Have a look.